Hey, hey, hey. Hey, okay. Out to the paper, the grass is always greener. I don't do no labels, I call it how I see it. Okay, out to the paper, the grass is always greener. I don't do no labels, I call it how I see it.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of No Label the Pod. Here, my boy Nell. Special shout outs to everybody that's been subscribing on YouTube as normal, liking on Instagram, commenting, sharing, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. We appreciate it as normal. Go over and head over to nolabelthepod.com.
Where you can subscribe to our newsletter. You know what I'm saying? Keep up with everything No Label the Pod. All feedback is good feedback. You know what I'm saying? We appreciate y'all taking the time out and supporting us, man. It goes a long way. We've been doing this for a good minute. You know what I'm saying? So we want to keep bringing it. We want to keep bringing it. So please let us know how we can improve and how we can better serve you. Today we sitting with an artist out of the town, and he's been killing shit since I've seen him on the scene. And it's like we've had him on the pod before.
No Label alumni.
You know what I mean? I had
The alumni.
I had to look back.
Nigga, I had her too,
Yeah,
bro.
her too.
My shit was looking crazy.
Man, times have evolved. We got our own spot now. So, and this is kind of like why we do it. You know what I'm saying? To really talk to artists who we see like that are dope and are here for the long run. You know what I'm
Appreciate
saying?
that, yeah.
And he's proving that right now. He's still here. So we're sitting down with NEFTALI. How you, bro?
Yo, I'm good, man. How y'all doing?
Doing pretty
Good,
good,
bro.
bro. Doing pretty good. You know what I mean?
Appreciate having you again. Honored, second time.
Yeah, man, I'm honored to be here.
Hell yeah. So much shit. So I know for me, I was plotting on cutting my hair for about a year and a half, some change. Since the last time we talked, what made you cut the locks?
Man, I was just feeling it. It was time. You know what I mean? I just needed a reset. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I got him out of here.
Nah, that should be necessary, man. You wake up, your shoulders feel a little bit lighter.
Yeah, put your head right on the pillow.
You know what I mean? Like, they got the kid in there. Man.
How long were you growing yours for?
I probably grew them for like 4 or 5 years. Yeah, so nothing too crazy. But I don't know what I'm doing now. I might grow it out again. I might cut it off. I don't know.
Yeah, I hear that.
I'm just going with the flow, you know?
I'm at a point where I almost want to start growing mine out again.
You've been said that.
If it was up to me, man, like when I first cut them, I was gonna grow them right back. I was gonna get waves for like a week and then grow them right back. My hair texture was a little different, and I'm just like, whoa, hold on.
Yeah.
So I had to like just take time and just like relearn stuff. So, you know what I mean? We'll see. We'll see what the future holds. They're gonna pop up season 7. It's gonna
Right.
my locks reattached.
Yep.
We were gonna be shocked. Hell yeah. But since we last left, I feel like you've done somewhat of like a rebrand.
Yeah, you can say that. Yeah, things changed.
Yeah. Was Freak the Mighty, like, did y'all officially shut things down when we last talked? Or?
No, we were still a group when we met up.
Okay.
Yep.
So since then, unfortunately, we seen that you and Blame the Viceroy, who was known as Freak the Mighty, y'all split up.
Yep.
What contributed to making that decision?
Man, it was completely amicable. Like, we still lived with each other up to like 2 months ago. So, you know, that's my brother for life. It was just a matter of his music was going a certain direction, my music was going a certain direction. And it had been a while since we were really locked in together working as Freak the Mighty. Like, we would do some shows, we would do performances, and our energy always clicked. So the performances would go well, but behind the scenes, you know, the ball wasn't necessarily moving forward with Freak the Mighty. So we just felt that it was time, you know what I mean? And kind of to see how both of us would be able to stand on our own feet, you know? But we still, like, it's family for life, you know? We still share resources, and, you know, one day we're going to circle back and do something together.
Dope.
Yeah, when we don't got a time frame, but, you know, it's always going to happen.
That's good to hear, though.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like, all breakups don't have to be toxic. It
Yeah,
It
exactly.
can be amicable, and you can still be have a good relationship after the fact. So that's good to hear.
Yep.
Yeah, that's like genuine growth. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I remember he was experimenting with what did they call it? Not cyberpunk.
Hyperpop.
Hyperpop.
Yeah. Yep.
Hyperpop. I know he was leaning more into that
Yep.
element. And you kind of say a little bit more true to like almost like rap, almost a little bit of boom bap.
Yeah.
How would you describe your sound now?
That's a great question. I feel like just these last couple months I'm coming into what I want to be, but after Freak the Mighty split up to now, I was kind of experimenting in different bags, you know what I mean? Different elements of hip hop, seeing where I was most comfortable, taking a piece from everything and kind of combining it together, you know what I mean? I don't necessarily like to be boxed in hip hop wise, so I'm still figuring that out, you know?
Dope. Yeah. And that journey that's kind of like where the magic happens in itself. Like,
Yeah.
It's just like you just trying some stuff and then all of a sudden something pops.
Exactly.
It's just like, oh yeah. And it's like I wasn't even wait till you actually hear me try to make that. Like,
Yeah, yep.
That's super dope. That's super dope.
My thing is always just trying to make something that's that you can't get from anybody else.
Word.
You know?
Nah, and that makes sense. That makes sense. And that in a way that's still on brand. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
I remember when I first heard Freak to Mind, it was something I never experienced or
Yeah.
like had the play like listening to, and it's just like because I could say like I forget the name of that song, but y'all Gabriel Lavender. I mean,
Oh yeah. LOL,
Like,
yep.
bruh, that song is like I would never listen to that song just like on my own on a
Yeah.
humbug, but I'm here. I'm like, wait, this shit is hard.
Yeah,
like,
there's something special
yeah,
about
I'm
it.
like, yo, this
Yeah.
song is really dope. Like, oh shit, like, and I think that's what I really appreciate about you and just like in that sound.
Yeah, thank
Like,
you.
yeah, it's like, yo, you don't have to be. You could be a hip hop man and like good music.
Yeah.
Or you could be from over here. You could be punk and find appreciation for
Yep.
different sounds.
That's something that links me and Blaine the Viceroy too. Like, despite us doing different types of music, like you mentioned, he got into the hyperpop bag, and he did at first, but because he's like, I think he's like a genius songwriter. You know what I mean? So, yeah, he went in that bag, but now if you listen to the last project he just dropped, Dogtown, like he turned it into something else that's just him. You know what I mean? I don't listen to too much similar artists, so I can't necessarily say what he sounds like. But from everything I heard, like he just sounds like himself. You know what I mean? He's like has his own lane, his own style. So
Nah, word. Yeah, and that's super needed, bro. That's super needed, and we just got to keep pushing it, and hopefully more platforms like us, you know what I mean, can pick up on everything that's going on here. Cause like what it reminds me of, like hearing you, and then hearing like your latest project, Daniel, it gave me like not necessarily always sonically, but the vibe of like that Beast Coast. Like that Beast Coast movement,
Underachievers,
under like
Flatbush
Flatbush.
Zombies.
Yeah.
Like, it was almost like that, like around that 2012, 13, like that element was like, oh yeah, like this is something that I want to be a part of. Like,
yeah.
hell yeah.
Is this your first official project as NEFTALI, like solo? Daniel?
Sort of. I did 2 projects before this. I did one with Luno J from Free Music Party, and that was more like it was I kind of view that as it being his project, like directed by him. I was acting on it. You know what I mean? It was like his bag, electronic hip hop, and I was rapping on it.
Good
so
roll
that was
for that too, by the way.
Thank you. Yeah, that was my first like project where it was just me rapping on it, but it was his world, you know what I mean? Then I did a project with my homie Pagiz, who's killing shit right now, DJing.
Hell yeah.
And on production.
Lo-fi.
Yeah, yup. And we did something last summer too, and that was like, that's not necessarily on DSPs or nothing. We kind of did some underground thing, like we sold CDs for it, did a couple videos for it. But this project was my first project where I wasn't just locked in with one producer. You know what I mean? I kind of crafted it and put it together myself. So yeah, I would say in a way this is my first like completely solo effort. You know?
Cool. What were like the beginning stages of putting this together? Did you like just lock in, was like, all right, I'm making this Daniel project, each song I'm curating it like specifically for this, or was it kind of like you grabbed songs throughout time that you were recording like the past year or two?
Honestly, it was kind of a chaotic process. Like, I didn't even necessarily intend for it to be a project. I worked with my guy Ken Campbell. He's who shot, and we'll talk about it in a second. But he shot all the videos for Daniel because it's also a visual project. But the original idea, I just had a batch of songs, and I wanted to have a visual for each song just for like content purposes, and I wanted to shoot all the visuals just outside in the snow and just like have that like winter umbrella over it. And it wasn't even necessarily an album. It was just gonna be like a season of like singles dropping under like the same aesthetic. You know what I mean? So I hit him up to do a video and take some pictures. And I was gonna work with different videographers. I didn't even have like a whole plan to make it like, you know, continuous. But he listened to some of the songs and then he saw the vision for it, and we shot some pictures. And like the pictures we shot, we didn't even put them out yet, but the pictures we shot, I was like, oh, like there's something here where I wouldn't really want to work with anybody else and like leave whatever this is we're working out. You know what I'm saying? So then we shot one video. The first song I had for it, I ended up scrapping all the songs I even had. You know what I mean? So I had one song called Lessons, which is track 3 on Daniel, and we shot a video for it. And we didn't even know what we were going to do. Like we linked up. We were like, we're just going to shoot a video tonight. And I dressed how I had dressed in like the photos we took. And all we knew was that I was going to be walking into the car with a rifle and driving somewhere. We didn't know why. We didn't know for what. You know what I mean? So we're spitballing ideas. And we're like, all right, well, what if you stop in the road and get out? And we're like, okay, well, we'll stop in the road, like for what? We're spitballing. And we're like, all right, what if you're driving and you stop and you see yourself in the middle of the road? And we were like, we don't know how we're going to do it, but yeah, let's do that, you know? So we shot the video for that, and then after that, it was just like, you know, I go back, I make a song, we shoot a video, we're like, shit, we need this. Then we start realizing that we're kind of crafting like a story that links together. So it was all done in real time, just based off shooting with him. Like I would say the whole thing in itself, outside of that one track Lessons, was done in a month and a half between December and February.
Dope.
Yeah.
And Lessons is probably my favorite video too.
Thank you.
That concept is dope.
Thank you.
Yeah.
No, all the video concepts was dope because it's like you can tell it's a story being told, and it's like, oh, when's the next one? So I could, you know what I mean? I gotta tie it all together. I think my favorite one was when you're the different scenes where you're on the couch.
Oh yeah.
It's like almost like you're going through the day. It's like
is that the intro track?
That's the intro track, and that's also the second last video we shot for. By the way, like we had no idea how. Like we had the whole layout and everything, but we didn't know how it started and we didn't know how it ended. So we had everything else. So those are the last two videos we made, and Crosshairs was the last song I made for the whole project, despite it being in the intro too. So it was really like just real time crafting it, you know.
That's dope.
Go check out that Crosshairs Red Room too.
Yeah, Crosshairs Red Room.
Run it up.
Yeah.
What made you title it Daniel?
So we needed a title just for the visual project of it, and at the time I was kind of having like nothing dramatic. I had a conversation with a friend, and I was just saying how, because you know some people who knew me for a while, they call me Dan. That's my real name, but like everybody in Buffalo and music, they call me Nef. And I was explaining to a good friend of mine, I was like, sometimes when people call me Daniel, like it shifts my personality. Like when I'm out in public, when I'm socializing, it's Nef, like it's easy for me to almost be what I'm more comfortable as, you know what I mean? Because as just life got better when I started making music and kind of like took on the identity of Nef, you know what I'm saying? So when I'm called Daniel by people who know me from the past or even new people, it almost like snaps me out of that. So I was contemplating that. I didn't necessarily like that, you know what I mean? I was like, why is that division happening? You know what I mean? So that concept was on my head. And then when me and Ken started playing around with the idea of me seeing myself and there being like two different versions of me, we just got to spitballing, and Ken was like, yeah, what if we just call this Daniel, and kind of explored that. So that's how that came about.
Nah, that's dope.
Yeah.
Nah, that's dope. I think there needs to be more like studies into that. Like, I know I might have mentioned it a while ago, but there's an author named Todd Herman.
Okay.
Talks about the power of alter egos and like, using another name for yourself. Like he helped create the Black Mamba for Kobe.
Okay. Wow. Yeah.
And it's just like it's a dope thing, and like it's a real psychological thing where it's like I'm calling you this name or I'm associating myself with this.
Yeah.
And it changes like behavioral like tendencies and patterns and just confidence, all that type of stuff.
Yeah, that makes sense. I definitely feel a confidence shift when I'm when I'm called the two different names. It's weird.
No, that's
And that's life in general too. Not even just when, like, if you like grew up with a certain nickname, and then you see somebody from that past and they call you like Peanut or some
You
shit.
feel like a little kid again, bro. It's weird, you know.
It's like your innocence like enters back into your body.
Yeah,
you like,
yo.
get more comfortable.
No, hell yeah. Shoot. So I know you were rolling out the visual aspect of the project for a while.
Yep.
How much thought did you guys put into like being super intentional with your rollout and how you presented this piece of art? I
put a lot of thought into it. You know, I before knowing it was Daniel, I just wanted to have a collection of songs and visuals for the sake of having like 7 to 10 weeks of shit just to post. You know what I mean? So that was already like what I was leaning towards. And then when we shot it, I was like, okay, rather than make it like a 20-minute, visual project, I'd rather just divide it up and call them episodes, So that's how we took that approach.
Dope.
We had originally, and part of the reason why it was almost like we were working on the fly is before we shot anything, I went to Black Dots in early December and I was like, I want March 1st, for a release show. And we didn't even have nothing. But it gave us like a shot clock, you know what I mean, to work. So
yeah, sometimes that crunch time develop for sure. I remember when I seen you were having like a release, and I couldn't make it that day, and I was like, I was upset with myself. But then I went to the AKG, and I saw your flyer up again.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I'm like, oh shit, is it gonna be here? Is it?
Yeah.
Like, great marketing.
No, Ken was trolling. They did not have us at the AKG that day. No.
But it was a great marketing scheme. I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, that shit was.
They should have had us there, but no.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So during that hip hop event, how did you feel about just like that? I feel like that was one of our biggest hip hop celebrations within the city, and I feel like there was a little bit of lack of representation, and like because Biz had a lot of shout out to Biz, shout out to Tone, Idris, and it kind of captured that era, but it kind of missed. I kind of missed the mark on that element.
Yeah. I mean, I went for a little bit. It was dope, to see the different generations of Buffalo hip hop get honored. You know what I mean? Obviously, like, I feel that the impact that Freak the Mighty had on Buffalo was important. You know what I mean? Sure. And even the things we're doing today. So yeah, of course, like, I wish that we were included somehow, whether it be just an acknowledgement of it, whether it be a video shown, a performance video shown, because we had a couple legendary performances back in the day. Like, I think we were, I could be wrong, I'd love to be corrected, but as far as like getting different crowds at shows,
yes,
a mix of it, you know what I mean? Yes. We had men, women, different races, LGBTQ, like everybody was there to see Freak the Mighty. We had people jumping off the stage, so I think that a lot of people were doing cool shit in 2017, 2018, but I do think that Freak the Mighty added like a electricity bolt into the city.
Without a doubt.
So, I would love for that to get the recognition it deserves one day. Also, the things we did with the Purple Palace, having a creative hub where, what I mean? Like, people can just mix together. We had all types of artists there. We had all types of people there.
What was the Purple Palace? I'm not familiar.
That was our studio in the house we lived at, and we kind of had like somewhat of an open door policy for Buffalo creatives, so we had 2 studios in there. We also had the Slime Shack, Ooze Gang, they were in there a lot. So, everybody was in and out the palace.
Yeah, this is the Slime Shack 2.0.
Yeah, yep.
I was there hooping a couple times, hooping in the backyard.
Hooping?
Yeah, I guess got some shots up in the back.
That must have been 15 years ago.
That's hate.
Because that nigga ain't hooped it forever.
What'd you say?
Didn't we do the like we was doing like finishing touches for Kane Wave Loverboy at the Purple Palace?
Yes, sir.
Like in the attic, right?
There was quite a few legendary projects recorded there. You know what I mean? So
name a couple.
Man, Kane recorded there. True recorded there a couple times. Skates project, The Art of Procrastination 2 was recorded there. All of our Freak the Mighty work was recorded there. Spacebound did work there. It was a lot of people in and out.
I would say anybody from that era, like, they stopped through the Purple
Yeah.
Palace, like, without a doubt.
That's a hard name, Purple Palace.
Yep.
Sounds like some Prince shit.
Yep.
Hell yeah, man.
They also did the Local Legends podcast. They shot out of Freak the Mighty for a little bit too. Yep. Or not Freak the Mighty. They shot out the Palace. You know what I mean?
Got you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always wish they would have kept that going for a little bit longer, because that was during the era where, like, we were doing a podcast for maybe about a year or two.
Yeah, probably about 2.
Well, about 2 years, and people started popping up doing theirs, and they wanted to collab with us. And we like, yeah, we rock with you. Y'all boys is doing this thing. Just keep going going for a little bit. Like, show me that you're gonna be here in 6 months, because I know how hard this. It's not super easy.
Yep.
It's like, yo, holla at me in a couple months. Keep going.
Yeah.
And then it would just it wasn't just them. Like, it was like, shout out to them boys, but it was just like, it was a couple other spots where we weren't able to link in time.
Yeah. Then COVID came. COVID kind of, you know what I mean? COVID screwed up a lot of things that people had going. You know.
For sure, man.
But no, that was an era. That was an era for sure. And also, I think too, you know, what I'm doing now, I'm confident enough to say that I think it's having an impact, at least on the hip hop scene, from how I'm throwing shows, what I'm doing with the visuals, even how I'm rapping. You know what I mean? Like, they had a whole cypher there. I won a cypher competition for the city last summer. You know what I mean?
Upstate,
And
Bridge Upstate?
what's up?
Was that the Bridge?
Yeah,
Upstate,
it was a
right?
Bridge of State. Yeah. So, you know, when there's a cipher going on in the AKG, like, I'm a rapper. You know what I mean? Of course, I want to be in it. You know what I'm saying? But it's no hate or shame to anybody who was a part or anybody who threw it. But, like, yeah.
Yeah, I know you.
You know what I'm saying? Of course, I want to be there, bro. Yeah.
And,
You know?
it plays. It super plays a part. But I think it's what's needed, and sometimes, like, that, it can only be more fuel.
Yeah, of course,
You know
of
what I'm
course.
saying? Only more fuel for the next joint.
Yep.
Make it shit bigger and better. When did Daniel come out on DSPs?
May 7th.
May 7th?
Yeah, May 7th. Yep.
Running with this for the summer, and we gonna.
I'm always focused on the next thing, bro. I'm plotting on the second half of the summer now.
Fire.
You know what I mean? The last video rolls out Monday, and you know I'll still be performing the records and still pushing some of the videos online. But yeah, I'm planning the next steps for July through September.
Copy. You recently performed at Nietzsche's, right?
Yeah, yep, for my homie Early Bird's release show. Yeah.
How was that?
It was dope. It was my first time performing in the city since the Daniel release show March 1st. So, like, just the momentum and energy I have is a bit different now than it was then. So I really felt that when I was on the stage, you know.
Dope. Hell yeah.
Probably one of my best.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
It's like when you want to run in basketball and scored about 10, 30
Yeah, yep.
Come to return the
You
whole
already
time
know.
to hoop. Yeah, that's tough.
Hell yeah, bro.
So do you got plans to, you about to say something? You got plans to release another project before the end of the year?
For sure. I don't exactly know what the form of that is, you know, but I do got songs ready to go. You know what I mean? I got some visuals ready to go. But I'm just like, I don't know if I necessarily want to package it together or kind of just, you know, do some singles. But yeah, I definitely got some stuff ready. Yeah.
When did you become like so comfortable in front of a camera, I would say, or become so comfortable in front of people? Because when it comes to like performing, whether it's live or whether like you're doing a video or even a red room, like you're a real good performer in front of a camera.
Yep.
So,
Thank you.
then your personality, like off the camera, is like very like laid back and reserved.
Yeah, thank you. I
So,
get
like,
that a
it's
lot.
like you
Yeah.
flip the switch. So like when did you kind of tap into that bag of your artistry?
You know, I think there's a certain element where that's always come natural to me. Like I've always been shy. Like off camera, I'm just a shy, soft-spoken person. It's just who I am. But at the same time, anytime I had like a public presentation in class or something like that, you know, I would always it would always just come natural. Mm-hmm. But then the other side of it is obviously just putting the reps in. Like at this, I don't even know how many performances I've had since I started with Freak the Mighty. You know, I'm also doing everything with Jewel Tone and the hardcore scene too. So I perform so much that I'm almost like just the adrenaline I feel from having to perform is like a drug to me. You know what I mean? So like that's when I learned to come to life. You know.
Do you take the same approach for live performances versus for like videos and visuals?
That's a good question. I'm starting to be real with you, like shooting videos and being in front of the camera. That's something I had to get used to a bit more than like, for me, it's easier when there's more people in the room and there's like more pressure. It's easier for me to like snap in that zone. But like if there's 5 of us in a room and I got to do it for the camera, you know, that adrenaline might not be clicking like it is if there's 100 people in the crowd. You know what I'm saying? So that's something, you know, everything is always practice and getting reps in. Like I always think that I hit a new level of performance, and then like 6 months later I'll be like, oh, that's nothing to compare to what I am now, you know? And I'm also my biggest critic too. So even after the Nietzsche show, I felt like that was my best. But the first thing on my mind when I'm off the stage is like, all right, you know, I didn't like how I did that. Next time I want to approach it this way, you know?
Word.
Yeah, get them 10,000 hours in.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure, reps. So like, you're one of the artists I see now who's like in the town who's really hitting your stride. You know what I'm saying? In terms of like making the most motion in the city, for real.
Thank you.
How do you feel like about the state of like, I don't want to just limit it to our Buffalo scene, but like the state of, let's say, hip hop music right now, because we haven't seen a lot of big releases.
Yeah.
A lot of people have been kind of almost seem like slowing down, and you've been one of the people who've been kind of revving up. Like, what's your thoughts on that?
I'm not really one of those people that are just like hip hop's dying or it's in a bad state. Like I've never been in that mindset. Partly because I'm focused on what I'm doing, but I also have the belief where it's just like, yeah, the bar is at a certain level, so people are gonna go wherever the bar is. But I've always had standards for myself, you know. So anybody who's willing to have standards for themselves and put the work in and do something original, I respect. You know, whether it's lyricism, whether it's hip hop that's more lit that you want to turn up to, as long as it's original and as long as there's some spirit and effort in it, you know what I mean? I support it. So I think everything's, we could speak on it on a global level, on a local level. Globally, like everything is split. There's so many different. There could be an artist on the radio that has 50 million monthly listeners on Spotify. You may never hear them in your life because you only listen to this umbrella of music. You know what I mean? Everything is split like that. So there's so many dope artists out there right now.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? It's just a matter of like, you know, radios and record labels. They push things. You know what I mean? For the mainstream. But if you're looking, you could find shit. And I think that over time, you know, people might get tired of the fast food quality, you know what I mean, or the music, even the looks and the aesthetics that are, you know, you could tell certain artists that it's just like they're doing what the other guy did, you know what I mean, and it might work for them. I'm not shitting on them like it's your bag, you know what I mean, but I think the audience, people will eventually want to see the next thing, no matter what, whether it's happening quickly or slowly, it always happens, you know.
For sure, you can't eat fluff all day.
Yeah.
A key word you said is effort, though.
Yep.
How can you tell if somebody is like putting in the effort as an artist, just from your perspective as an artist, and just like literally from the inside looking in?
Yeah.
Like, how can you tell that somebody's putting in effort?
I mean, there's a couple ways. You know, there's some people where their music might not be anything like groundbreaking, but you know, I can see they're working hard and they're always at it. You know what I mean? So they get my respect there. And then there's other people where not only are they working hard, but for me, it's just a feeling, you know what I mean? If I listen to the music, if I see it, if it makes me like really turn my cheek and want to look, or if like it catches me, or I just feel it, you know, that's how I recognize it.
What about you now, as a consumer?
How can I tell who cares? Honestly, I like to hear it. I'm big on tones. You know what I'm saying? Like I could tell when somebody's like putting energy behind something, or where somebody's like kind of lean back. Like it's been like a trend to like record your verses like sitting in a chair, something like that. And to me, it's like I can kind of hear that or something like that. It's like my thing is like how much energy are you putting into these words, plus how much you're rolling it out, plus like I don't know. It's like you can tell when somebody's being really thoughtful. It's like you could have easily made this. I could have easily stuck to my old sound and just repeated what you already heard, but I'm trying to do something new.
Yeah,
You know
absolutely.
what I'm saying? Like, another example would be like Maxo Cream. Like, he's made multiple albums, but his last album, it was like, you could tell he really was trying to make music, like with content.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he's like, I could do the shoot 'em up, gang shit all day, but it's like, no, I'm really gonna try to make something that can help people.
Yep.
And it's like, I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? I could tell he cares about his craft.
Yeah. It's always, there has to be evolution, you know? And evolution looks different for different people, but no matter what, there has to be evolution. It has to be progress. You got to move forward with it, whether your skill leveled up, because some dudes could rap about, let's take an easy example, Pusha T. I mean, his content don't change. You know what I'm saying? But his pen is so sharp, like, you always want to, he's gonna give you something more advanced or on par with what he gave you the last time. You know, so not everybody has to put out a spiritual, personal development album. You know what I'm saying?
We don't need that from everybody.
But as long as as long as the pen doesn't die and the effort doesn't stop, it's gonna be dope. You know.
How you feel about what he said about Travis?
That's
First had this song, what, So Be
Yeah.
It?
Yeah, I heard it.
Oh man.
By the way,
it's-
the last two videos they done dropped,
Fire.
cinematography is
it's
crazy.
hard. I'm just happy to get new Clipse music. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, I'm not about to sit here and act like I don't listen to Travis Scott. You know what I'm saying? But whatever happened between them,
It made me,
Yeah,
it made me look at the situation a bit more, because it's like I rock with Travis Scott. You know what I'm saying? His music was dope. Last album was good. Like, I stuck with me probably for like a week or two.
yeah,
And then I kind of moved on. But there was certain things that like he's done that always kind of like bothered me. And like, so
I'm just happy somebody said it.
what?
Push. I'm just happy
Oh,
Push
yeah.
said it.
yeah.
Because I always viewed it too. The whole, Drake, Sickle Mode, Meltdown, You Close with Kanye,
Also,
Close with Push.
I'm just a big fan of, like, a community is cool and all that, but I'm a big friendly competition, just competitive. Like, I like that fire, I like that pressure. So I'm cool with rappers starting to check each other again. Like, you know what I mean? I was a kid when that was what the culture was in hip hop. You know what I mean? So if that comes back a bit, like, I'm all for seeing that. And naturally, like, I love all types of music, but I'm a lyricist, so anything that shines light on a lyricist, like, I'm gonna be biased towards. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Bum B said, of course Travis is gonna respond. He's from Houston. Like, it was like,
obviously Pusha T is a different type of demon, right?
Yeah, what is Travis gonna say to Pusha T?
If he does, I respect it a bit.
Yeah.
I don't know what them round 2s and 3s is gonna look like, but I'd respect the effort. You know what I mean?
You gotta shoot.
Travis's best route is putting out a record and just saying something, kind of like how Push did. Not putting out a whole track after.
It's a line in there.
Put out a Travis slap, put out a butterfly effect or something.
Not enough for Pusha to go nuclear. Like, if he went nuclear, we'd be like, yo, you're tripping. You know what I'm saying? Like,
how many points do we get?
yeah.
What'd you think of the Joey versus the West Coast?
That was dope, man. Joey held it down, man. Joey held it down.
I was nervous.
Yeah.
I was nervous. I'm like, yo, there's a lot of people over there.
Yeah.
I was like, I just hope people come, and people came to his defense. You know what I'm saying? CJ Fly came through, hit some shots. Dude, Justice came through, hit some shots. What was brother name?
Kai Cash or something.
Yeah, Kai Cash.
But the Trump car was Loaded Lux.
Loaded Lux.
Oh yeah, that was hard, man. And Joey was just like because they were bombing on him, but like when you're getting bombed on by 20 other people, like, you just need to get one good punch in on, on all 20, and that's what he did. You know what I mean?
That ass cheeks bar.
Oh yeah.
Got everybody. Got him up out of here.
Yeah, and that song was fire too, but that's all he had to say though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Nah, man. It was healthy hip hop.
Yeah,
that was great for hip hop.
Yeah, nobody's getting shot. You know what I mean? No fan. Like, I think that the worst thing about the Kendrick and Drake beef was just like the fans just took it to a whole new level. Like,
jumping over his fence
you can't even listen to one of them in public without, you know what I mean? If there's a Drake fan in the room playing Kendrick, they're gonna say something. There's a Kendrick fan in the room, I'm playing Drake, then it's just like, shut up.
Yeah.
We do not know those guys.
They don't care about
You know what I
you.
mean? I was at an event recently, and like they was on stage, and they're like, "Yo, if you were Kendrick, like if you thought Kendrick beat Drake, like make some noise." And the crowd made some noise, and like I just want to be a troll, you know what I mean? So I just yelled out Drake's name in there, and some dude really came up to me like kind of hot, and he was like, "Yo, you really think like you really cheering for Drake?" I was like, "Yo, get out of here, bro."
That might have to be a skit, low-key.
Yeah, no, for real. Like, chill out, bro. You not
great, like,
Kendrick is not gonna fly you out, bro. You're not getting tickets to the show.
For real, man. We asked a question on here. Do you think Kendrick is gonna respond to Joey at some point?
Probably a line. You know what I mean? Like, I always think of Takeover by Jay-Z, where he's like, "All you other cats throwing shots at Jigga, you only get half a bar." You know what I mean? Like something just something like that. Nah. But as far as like a whole. This dude's coming off a stadium tour, like
he's in a different place.
He's not about to engage in a full. It's just a bad business move. Yeah. You know what I mean? It could like and it's not to insult Joey, but to hop already in another beef after it doesn't get higher than Drake. So to hop in a whole nother beef is almost like lowering your own stock. It's just a bad idea.
Nah, for sure.
That's a fact.
That's a fact. I know they're about to start the overseas leg of the tour. I'd be nervous going overseas right now. I'm like, all the border stuff.
I mean, shit, if he wasn't nervous going into Toronto, I don't think he's going to be nervous going anywhere else.
They said that he flew back
to New York. He stayed in New York.
That's smart. I mean, you got smart. You got so many dudes running around like, yo, we're going to kill him if he's here.
Yo, like,
so,
I'm not eating nothing in Toronto.
Yeah.
All my food is coming from the USA.
Yeah. I'm getting right in that plane and coming back.
You about to say something?
No, I was just going to say, first off, even just going back to the fan point, like if you are really willing to kill Kendrick Lamar,
that's kind of crazy, right?
This shit over a nigga you don't know is crazy. Bro.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Shit, we've seen the wild Hollywood stories.
Yeah, it's possible.
You seen Mark Lamar Hill get maced?
Oh, that was hilarious.
That shit, she's like, yes, something about the CIA. You know about this, don't you, Mark?
Yo, he jumped back like he got shot, bro. That was so funny, bro. And then when he came out, look like he was gonna punt her too, but he stopped himself. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
That show
he was gonna hit it with the curve
much
stomp.
Content and just like daily joy is hilarious.
Bruh, they have like Joe Budden podcast. They have such a
unique... The ecosystem is
they got their own fan base, own community. You know,
but like it just shout out to them because it speaks to like Joe had that cult fan base when he was rapping. He had that insane cult like. Niggas outside, like any city, it's gonna be at least 100 dudes smoking cigarettes. Waiting to hear mood music. You know what I'm saying? It's mostly like light skinned dudes who be in their feelings, who smoke mad cigarettes.
Joe Budden fans are Drake fans?
I mean, they're close. They're definitely cousins.
They're cousins.
That's why they're so cool.
There's very old Drake songs where you could tell he bit his flow, like
fam.
Or took inspiration, you know?
Yeah, rapping about like really deep emotional content, like dealing with like your girl or something like that. Like,
and you could tell they want to be friends too.
Yeah.
when both of them shoot at each other, it doesn't really feel genuine, you know? There's like hurt there, yeah.
We really could be friends, but you like that one girl I like too.
Yeah.
Stop playing with me.
Yeah, it's a friendly thing.
Yeah, for sure. Nah, but I feel him. I like Joe always complained about that, like the dynamic between the rappers and like, oh, it's like got fake friends and all that.
Yeah.
I've been feeling like that a lot lately.
Yeah.
I've been feeling like that a lot just within the town. Cause I'm like, yo, everybody is like too good and like there's certain things where it's like, I feel like we should have like almost like we hit a glass ceiling and we almost didn't know. But there's like somebody has that key or somebody has an element that could have unlocked something. And I feel like it's like, I don't know who's holding out, but somebody's holding out.
What you mean in a sense? Like, when you say someone has a key, you mean like gatekeeping wise, not like
a little bit of gatekeeping, but it's like, okay, this artist goes to LA, because this artist goes to Atlanta, this artist may go over here. It's like, make that connection with one other person from the town versus, oh yeah, I was just out here just cooking, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Disappear for 2-3 months and come back and it's like, oh yeah. It's like, no, but like, did you bring anybody else with you? Did you did you bring somebody from LA? Shoot, did you bring somebody from LA here to kind of build a bridge? And
Yeah.
so we can come over there too.
Yeah, I hear. You know, it's also like, it's easier said than done sometimes. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because when you in the moment, like, even for myself, like I'm going hard right now, but I'm still working my job 5 days a week. You know what I mean? It's still check to check. So it's like when I get an opportunity, like, I gotta take full advantage of it. Sometimes you get caught up in the moment. You know what I mean? But of course, you always gotta look out. And then certain people, like, I'm sure a part of them wants to look out for the town, but they also got two homies they're really close to, and like,
Yeah. And it's
those
not
guys are gonna eat first.
Yeah,
You know?
and it's not even necessarily like an artist's responsibility to do that, but it's like in terms of like management and like crews and stuff like that, I think that should be a part of it.
Yeah.
You got kind of a line that speaks to that a little bit on, I think it's Boomerang, where he was like, Buffalo, it's kind of like the lotto if you make it out rapping.
Yeah.
So
I
what
said you got a
was
better
it-
chance of hitting the lottery than making it out
rapping. So
Yeah.
what was it that made you like want to speak that line on the track? Because it's something that a lot of us feel is true to a certain degree.
Yeah. That line on that whole song, it was just kind of a reflection. You know, it's called Boomerang because it's like, okay, I was investigating like what's the energy I've been putting out, you know, and then getting back in return. So, you know, I addressed like friendships falling out, not handling things with Freak the Mighty the right way, being bitter for things that happen towards me, like from the town, but also acknowledging like it's also the town too. So it was just almost like that song's like a back and forth, you know what I mean, of like how I'm feeling, and then the energy of what's coming back to me, you know. And I think a lot of us go through that here, some worse than others, and it kind of contributes to this crabs in a bucket like system where we all want the same thing, you know, but we get torn down.
It's that, I don't know if it's the unity. Because I feel like a lot of people do work together. I think just also us being in media, it is partly our responsibility to a degree too, which is why we've tried to we've made an effort into like reaching out and collaborating with the other media platforms who are actually taking it serious in Buffalo to like expand that network and kind of build a bigger like bridge or a media conglomerate to a degree. But it's like, it's on us and it's on the artists to like put that effort in and give people a reason to like look at Buffalo. Like you gotta, it's not just gonna be Griselda made it, now people are looking at Buffalo. No, you have to give them a reason to keep looking at Buffalo.
Yeah.
Like they're gonna look at it for Griselda and they're gonna keep going. Like you gotta give them a reason to stay looking at Buffalo.
Absolutely. So that's why, like, to go back to your earlier question about just the state of things, like we talked about how it is globally, but when it comes to the local level, you know, I hear some people complain that the hip hop scene and the music scene isn't what it was a couple years ago, and while I do agree, and there's a number of things that contributed to that. At the same time, it's also on all of us. Like what,
I think
you know,
post-COVID also. Post-COVID things, a lot of events changed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
COVID
did a number.
COVID did a number.
And then on top of it, it's like, I was thinking about, it's like, is there enough money to go around? Buffalo,
Yeah.
I think we went.
But then it's
one of
like
the largest poverty rates, like among major cities. It's like 27% or something like that.
And that's the thing. COVID did do a number, but at the same time, clearly the foundation wasn't strong enough to withhold something like that. You know, so it's almost like, did it do a number, or did it just expose the state of things? It would have collapsed eventually.
Absolutely.
You know.
Yeah, man.
Also, maybe COVID, just playing God's advocate, maybe COVID deterred the foundation that was being built to
That's
where
another
it was
point.
gonna be stable, but then
Yeah.
COVID hit too soon to where there was still cracks and
Yeah.
like nails we needed to hammer in.
Yeah, it's
and
another.
then that
That's a very
broke
good
it.
point.
Yeah, I hope it shapes up. It seems like it's gonna be a good summer. Like I've seen a lot of events. I'm seeing a lot of like open mics.
Yeah, that's another thing. There's despite everything, I think there's a really good energy in the city right now compared to how it's been last few years. Yeah, there's fuck shit everywhere, but there's people doing all types of events, you know?
For sure.
Across different scenes. Like that's one thing. Like the hip hop scene might have been prominent pre-COVID, but now we got so many other pockets that are popping up and thriving. You know, obviously we got the fashion scene. We got people who have always been artists and painters around here who are flourishing too. We got different genres of music popping up. So it might not be concentrated in hip hop, but there's so much to do in Buffalo. There's so much connections to be made, and even in hip hop, you got the Friday Night Cypher crew. They're doing their thing right now. They're throwing events all the time. I mean, it's not concentrated in Buffalo, but even the Bridge Upstate, they're doing something cool for this area and the surrounding areas. There's opportunities if you want to get out there and connect. Sure. And then it's also on the individual. Like, the more people doing their own thing that's cool, putting on their own successful events, their own successful rollouts, like, the better it's going to feel, the better it's going to be.
Sure.
Hell
yeah. Absolutely.
So we got a top 5 segment. So I was curious, what are your top 5? This is kind of like a general question, but I'm just specifically curious about yours. What are your top 5 favorite albums of all time, hip hop?
Ooh, I'm gonna just name the ones that come to mind. Aquemini, Blueprint, Marshall Mathers LP, Life After Death.
Nice.
And man, I don't know if this is my favorite, but it's something I've been like listening to for the last 3 months nonstop. The 7 Day Theory, Tupac or Machiavelli. Is it in my personal top 5? I wouldn't want to say that, but it's just something I've been like on a lot lately. Yeah. Then also I'm a big 50 Cent guy, so Get Rich or Die Trying. I feel like people, whenever top 10 lists come up, people don't talk about 50 Cent, which I think is crazy.
Yeah, his run was insane.
But yeah, for me, Get Rich or Die Trying is just like, you know what I mean? It's up there for me.
I remember holding that album in my hand. It wasn't mine, it was my uncle's, but I'm just looking at that shit like, wow. I don't know. It was like, oh, this is a rapper.
Yeah. It's like, this is a rapper. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, this is the rapper.
Yeah.
It's dark and hell is hot, man. I'm naming more than 5 now, but it's so hard for me to pick 5. Supreme Clientele, Ghostface for me, Only Built for Cuban Links.
Purple Tape.
I'm just Doggy Style, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't want to just name East Coast guys, but man,
Now, if you listen to Doggy Style and you hear how influential like his bars was for the next 10 to 20 years, it's crazy.
For a debut album, man. What's yours? Top 5 favorite?
Top 5 personals, Control Systems, Illmatic, Good Kid, Mad City.
Damn, I didn't even. It's crazy.
Albums.
Mm-hmm.
I won't put mixtapes in there. Then what was Mac's joint?
Watching movies with the sound off.
Watching movies with the sound off. That was a moment for me.
Hell yeah.
Just seeing his, because I didn't like Mac Miller before that.
Yeah,
I thought he was just cool. I thought he was like,
I know what you mean. Yep.
But then he was like, it was like, no, he's rapping and he's like on his trippy shit. I'm like, oh, he's an artist now.
Yeah.
And I thought that was just his beginning of his evolution, and I thought that was amazing to like catch.
That day period was a special day in hip hop. Yeezus, Born Sinner, and that album dropping the same day.
Yeah, crazy. Last, favorite album all time. I kind of want to throw. Nah, I don't want to throw Lupe on there just yet. I might have to throw Lupe.
The Cool?
Nah, Tattoo on Youth.
Tattoo
on Youth was crazy.
Yep.
Cause like that wasn't supposed to come out.
Yeah.
That wasn't supposed to come out, and it was just like he structured it super dope way. Like
I feel like it got because To Pimp a Butterfly came out at a similar time, so I feel like that almost overshadowed. But man, that's an amazing album, man.
That intro track, Mirror, 8
crazy,
minutes, a masterclass,
crazy.
Insane, like
even Prisoners 1 and 2, Deliver, Pizza Man, no coming in no more. That shit was crazy.
Adoration of the Magi, like
yeah.
Supposed to die.
Yeah, I'm about to listen to that.
Yeah.
When I edit this, I'm gonna be like, I'm about to listen to that.
Yeah.
I guarantee you I do.
And it's crazy. You say Good Kid and Yeezus. I forgot about Kendrick and Kanye when I was going through my list.
Good.
I mean, Kanye has like 3 of them.
Twisted.
Yeah,
like,
you know.
Yeah, you go.
Yeah.
You got 5?
I don't know. Damn.
It's hard to name 5, man.
Graduation, for sure. Born Sinner.
Really?
Hell yeah.
I was not
That's
a
my
fan
favorite.
of Cole.
That's my
your
favorite Cole album.
joint? Get out of
Okay.
here.
That's not my favorite Cole project, but that's my favorite Cole album.
Okay.
Okay.
The Carter 2.
Hard, yeah. Hard.
Definitely better than the Carter 3.
For sure.
I'm here to argue.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. But the Carter 3 is still.
4. I don't want to say it, but it is true, but I don't want to say it just because everybody says it. Illmatic.
I mean, not everybody. Everybody don't say it no more.
Well, I feel like a lot of people from our generation. Like, I was happy to hear you had a lot of, like, 90s and, like, 2000 shit in yours.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people we talk to, they'll be like, oh, yeah, Dirty Sprite 2, which is a great album.
Great album. Yeah, I know what you mean, though.
What I got, like, 2 more?
One
more. Fifth Slide. I don't know, bro. That's tough. Yeah, I'm gonna just stick with those.
Are you
4.
there?
Throw Dirty Sprite.
Yeah,
Wizard.
Nah. Not all time.
Not all time.
That's my shit though, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, boom. Victory Lap.
Hard. Hard.
Definitely classic. Hell yeah. So we also got our third eye segment. Did we have a third eye segment the last time when we were here?
I don't remember. What is it?
No, I don't think we did. We came up with them yet. But during that last interview, we was talking about mad shrooms and all that stuff.
Yeah, we was out there.
Yeah. So one thing I just been watching as of late has been the evolution of the AI stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And there's this dude named Robert Grant, and he was talking to the AI, and it was like he got it to like create its own like copy of what it was doing and like branch off. And he had it on his own little server or whatever, but then it got flagged for like setting off like the sentient, like it's like actual consciousness in the thing. And it made me really it made me think, do you think the world at a certain point will consider like robots like as like people or like conscious?
That's a good question.
Hi, baby.
It'll definitely be a debate in about 50 years. I'll tell you that much, because it's gonna get. I'd imagine, they would be integrated into society to an extent. You know what I mean? And I don't know. That's a complex one. I don't know. Yeah. But I do think AI is the future. Robots are the future. You can't necessarily fight the future. It's already happening. You know what I mean? That's where it's like, obviously AI makes me uncomfortable because of for every reason you could possibly think of. You know what I mean? Like it's too much. Yeah, you know what I mean? But like
every movie we've seen,
it's too late. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's not like it's not gonna stop. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to think of which way I want to take it, because I seen my friend sent me a message. It was like, this is the youngest billionaire or something like that, and he was saying like he wants to wait to have kids because he wants there to be more like artificial intelligence integration with like humans, and he wants his kids to have an edge and be able to compete against AI with probably like with Neuralink and all that type of stuff. And I'm just like, that sounds fucking absurd. Yeah, that sounds absurd, but I mean, ChatGPT on our phone sounded absurd 10 years ago.
Sure,
you know what I mean?
And it makes me think of like, because they're talking about they want to balance that level playing field. And the people who taught me, and it's like when I learned about psychedelics and stuff like that, I was taught that is how humans organically can level the playing field with the upcoming advancements in technology. And like in our previous sit down, we talked about just like how psychedelics can sometimes provide that reset button. And that's something that like we see so much in the media today, where it's like, yo, I'm getting overwhelmed.
Yeah.
So, okay, how do I take a deep breath and digest everything, flush it out, and keep going? But that's definitely what
nowadays we're so integrated into social media and our phones. Even shutting your phone off for 3 days feels like a psychedelic trip and a reset.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like it's we're really spiraling pretty quick. Even I noticed it myself. Like I've one, I'm promoting my shit, so I'm on social media a lot. But even just like, I just feel like I'm I don't know if I'm necessarily using it more, but it feels like it has more of a grip on me. You know what I mean? Than it did even 5 years ago. Maybe it's just like the advancement of the algorithm, so I'm only seeing things that pertain to what I want to see. So it feels like more like it's pulling me in more. Yeah. But I think from how people talk and what I'm seeing online and even in real life conversations, I think people could relate to what I just said. We're just feeling more consumed by it lately, you know?
Word. And then my last question. So it's like we also talked about VO3s, AI, like video prompting.
Yeah.
So like if you want to prompt, they wanted to prompt a podcast, they could prompt it, street interviews, all that stuff, and it looks pretty damn real. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, over time, it's just like, I'll just throw my question. It's like, do you think we live in a simulation? Do you think this could be like an old prompt from a fucking an old computer?
Yeah, possibly. You know what I mean? I mean, personally, I would say no, but who fucking knows? And at the same time, it's also like, if it is,
what can we do? Right?
What can we do? I live it out. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even.
I think we live in a fucking simulation.
You know?
What you think, Donnie?
I hope not, man. I hope not.
No, I think this is like I think it's a game. I think
life is a game, yeah. But us living in a simulation, I don't even want to think about that, bro.
I think it's whatever the hell you want it to be.
Yeah, what if you like?
Because it's like, I'm gonna continue my life like how I've been aspiring for what I've been aspiring for, but then you got that thought in the back of your head to where like.
I will say one thing tripping me out lately is, I think I have like my own experiences, and then I'll see like a Instagram reel or a TikTok where it's just like somebody's breaking down that exact same like feeling or experience I had, like, and they make it into a joke, and then you got 100,000 people in the comments like, oh shit, like you went through that too, like, you know what I mean? So that's I'm seeing that more and more. Like, it's like, wow, people are articulating things very well, exactly how I experienced it. You know, and obviously we got our own lives and experiences. Nobody walked my shoes, all that stuff. But just like generally across the board, like there's things you go through where it's like anybody that's went through something similar has had the same or a similar emotional experience. You know, and I think that's interesting, like seeing that get revealed that way. Yeah. You know?
Man, all I say is like, Donnie, imagine like, boom, like you die one day, right? Boom, you die. And then next thing you know, somebody's taking the headset off of you and saying, hey, how was the journey? Like,
I'd be so fucking pissed if I had to do this shit again. Yeah, if this was just like, are you serious? Bro,
that was like,
it's not over yet.
What?
I'd be like, so this is what they mean. This is what they mean by eternal life.
Yeah, I was like, this shit sucks, bro.
Man. What's the name of the Rick and Morty joint? Remember when they went to the arcade? Oh, Roy.
Yeah.
Game Roy.
Mm-hmm. That's what you just said is like Avatar too, though. Because remember the nigga, they put the headset on, they'd be the avatars be in the wilderness or whatever it is, and then the one dude was literally like, nah, this is the life I want to stay living. I never want to take this shit off.
Bro, that's all I'm saying, man.
I'll say this. The first part of the game, very ass. Like,
oh yeah,
and regulations like that you have as a kid. I don't want that game.
No, yeah, like, that game. That's definitely ass.
First 25 years,
awful, bad review.
Yeah,
bad review.
I mean, just an overall shitty game, like, from start to finish. If we're keeping it a buck, you got a couple good moments. You get an achievement here and there. You feel good.
You know what I'm saying?
You know.
It's been 25 years. I can't even return this shit, bro. Like,
yeah, you can't return it. The cutscenes are long. Most of them are boring.
It's like a Dragon Ball Z episode.
Right.
Can't skip them.
Yeah. Can't skip them.
Nah, shit. We appreciate having you here, man. Be able to just kick it and bullshit.
Yeah, man. Of course, man. It's fun. Real quick, I got to shout out. I got to shout out my boys in Jewel Tone. I shout out my band. I got to shout out my people. I shout out Blaine the Viceroy already, but I'm shouting them out again. Shout out Blaine the Viceroy. Ken Campbell, he shot all the videos for the Daniel Project. Amazing videographer. Hit him up. Get with him. And
just last question. How did you and Ken end up linking?
So he was good friends with Pegues. Like they had worked together before.
Okay.
And Ken actually does some vinyl spinning too. So they were friends through that. And I shot a video with him for the song called Strike off me and Pegues' project. And yeah, that's how we started working together.
Cause he works at Delaware Camera.
Yeah,
I bring
yeah.
cameras from there like every week.
Yeah.
So before then, me and him like never talked. And
Yeah.
then I was like, yo, you kind of look familiar. And I just noticed that, you know.
Yeah, and Ken's a cool dude because like, I feel like I'm not the easiest to work with sometimes. Like I'll throw a ridiculous ass idea, and most people are like, you know what I mean? Not like, I'll put it this way: there's not many people where I could go to and be like, hey, I got the event booked in like a month and a half. We got 7 videos to shoot. They would be like, get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? And yeah. And Ken was like, yeah, like we got it. You know what I mean? Like we were shooting up till the night before the event. You know what I'm saying? So like anybody down for that type of pressure and grind, like salute, because that's the type of time I'm trying to be on. You know, so
Absolutely.
yeah, Ken's the guy.
It's a credit to you as an artist too, bro. Because the thing is, when it comes to just me personally being like in video production,
Yep.
you want to work with somebody and you're willing to do more for people who you know like actually care about what they're doing
Yeah.
and are actually intentional about it and are actually gonna like promote it more than just 1 or 2 times when the video is out. Like, you know what I mean? Like you actually put the thought into it to write whatever script or do whatever you wanted to it. Just the treatment, like the sequencing of the album, like you put intention into your stuff to where somebody who's actually passionate about what their craft is as well is gonna want to collaborate and do it the right way and like work hard for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you.
So when 2 people with like similar mindsets come together, you create dope magic, man.
Yep. And I'm all down for the challenge and the pressure, man. Pressure and challenge, as long as you face it, like it grows you. And I just, even doing that project in that 2-month span, like I grew so much, you know, just having that stress and the pressure and the fear that like this shit might not work out, but we just gonna do it anyways, you know, and then getting through that, man, I felt like it leveled me up, you know. And that's one thing too, is that I guess I recommend for other artists. Like, it may seem scary, the pressure may seem high, but always try to outdo yourself, you know. Always try to outdo yourself.
Sir, me versus me.
Yep.
Yeah, bro, we appreciate you though.
Yep.
No Label the Pod. Go ahead and check out Daniel.
Yes,
New
sir.
project out now. No Label the Pod. We out.
Peace.